I know I'm not the only producer trying to sell beats that's thinking the tight beats landscape on YouTube is absolutely fucked up right now. But we have to figure out what's going on and how to adapt to it. So I'm constantly learning rather than just giving up. And in spite of all the algorithm changes, in spite of views dropping for a lot of tight beat channels, established ones even, YouTube still remains the number one source for new music discovery. And probably, they don't have stats for it, but YouTube is probably still the number one platform on which potential beat buyers discover beats, search for beats, etc. So here are tips and tricks that you can steal right now, not from me, from Diego Torres, the actual expert on this stuff. And I wanted to ask him some really specific questions to get actionable tips for all of us producers out here that might be struggling with YouTube channels. And also on March 8th, he's hosting a free workshop, a free live workshop online. It's a 3-day workshop. The link is below. Shout out to producerincome.com. They're the sponsors of this video. I learned a lot just from having this conversation. All right, let's get right into it. The last time we talked, you alluded to a new strategy that you were using for selling beats, and you feel like this new strategy is the best option right now.
Yeah.
What is the best strategy for selling beats right now?
So I believe that the best strategy for any beat maker or music producer wanting to build their own beat selling business, I think the best strategy is what I call the micro niche strategy. And I did touch up on this a few months back when we last talked. And that's when I had really first discovered how powerful it was. And so, um, fast forward now, many producers are crushing it now. Whether that's my students or just people that watch me on YouTube, they're crushing it with it. And so my theory was correct, and now I'm all in on it. And basically, how it works is you create a type E channel, and you start with like a profitable genre, and that can be R&B, boom bap, even trap. Like, it doesn't really matter, they're all profitable. But you start with something that, a sound that is relatively profitable, and then you break that down further and further until you get very specific on your ideal customer. And the reason why I love this is not like, even aside from the income potential, I love it because, there's this argument that producers, or this dilemma producers face, which is like, oh, I want to make whatever I want, but YouTube makes it where I can't. I have to stick to one thing and force myself. That's not the case anymore. Like, with micro niche beat selling, you can create 5 channels or however many you want, and you can have these as like distribution channels for, let's say, you know you wake up one day and you want to make an R&B beat. Great. You have a micro niche channel to post it on. You don't need to post every day. You don't need to um, have that strict schedule, right? But if you have these channels that you can post on that target your ideal customers, you don't need many views. And you're feeding those existing customers and those people that care. And you're able to make whatever you want. And also, the amount that you make per view is way more, not on AdSense, but on sales. It's way more than if you were to go for Drake type beat, or like just trap type beat or something. Um, it's significantly disproportionate, because I have a type beat channel that got 500,000 views. Or sorry, let's look at my main channel. My main channel had 30 million views, and I made about $300,000 from that channel. And I had a country channel that made $8 per view. Like, when you look at it, because it had 40,000 views and made $5,000. So if you compare that to the main channel that went for a viral niche, it's like 10x what you're getting on a micro niche channel with way less views. And so that's why I'm all in on it.
So I know that generally, or at least in the past, you've encouraged people to upload as much as they can, as
Yep.
often as they can.
Yep.
Has that changed with all of the recent algorithm switch ups with YouTube? Because now they're saying if it's a new channel and you're uploading every single day or multiple times. I mean, I don't think you ever said multiple times a day, but every day you might get flagged as an AI channel.
Yeah. So I personally haven't seen it. With like, so a lot of the students I focus on like one on one with, we start a new channel and we usually try and post every day, and it works. So like now there are some cases where it doesn't work. Like it doesn't work for everyone, and so I generally do think though that we are shifting away from the whole everyday grind. I 100% believe that. I think that has come to an end, and I'm actually happy about it because I think there was a period of time when producers were just dropping things that like they were simply posting just to keep up with it, and the quality was tanking. Like it showed, and then they wondered why their beat sales went down and all of that. And it's like I really believe that like going into 2026 and even in 2027 as the algorithm changes, it could change tomorrow and I'm wrong again, but uh I think that we are totally shifting away from the daily grind, and that's why like it ties in with the whole micro niche strategy, right? You don't need to post every day. And I think for producers that's really relieving. I don't know your thoughts on that, but
Well, if you have 5 different channels, then you're definitely posting every single day,
right,
just maybe
right,
not
right.
all to one channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. It's so this brings up another question, which is what I'm seeing nowadays in all of the conventional wisdom, and it's changed. So there really is no conventional wisdom, but the people who are not, like you said, you gained a lot of SEO strategy from folks who are just SEO strategists, not beat
Yeah.
makers.
Yeah.
So when I watch their content, they're now saying that new channels are no longer being prioritized as they were, say, a year ago. YouTube loved new channels a year ago. Now they're saying the opposite. Now they're saying old channels, because they're established as human, are
Right.
not subject to the AI purge that we're seeing affecting a lot of folks. I mean, there are producers. Um, Paraponka, for example, lost his entire channel. He had 120,000 subscribers because one of his YouTube accounts was posting what YouTube considered AI slop.
Damn.
So, are you seeing old channels be revived now with YouTube's change?
Well, I'm seeing old channels be revived. I wouldn't necessarily say due to YouTube's change, because our strategies, like, and everything gets nerdy. There's like these strategies have been working for a while, but I'd say like, yeah, I agree with the whole the fact. It is a fact that like YouTube does prioritize older channels. Now, when I say old, it doesn't need to be that old. It doesn't need to be that old. Um, Even just like a month is fine. Of like just having it exist. Ideally, put a profile picture of your face before you post anything, and then you can change it to your logo or whatever when you do post. But and then also it's important to like when you're creating these channels to warm them up. So like actually watch videos on that channel. Like you treat that as like your new main channel. Subscribe to all the channels you're subscribed to, and just have that be your new channel that you're watching and consuming content with. And then it is a real human made channel at that point, you know, with real watch time for when you're watching these videos. And so yeah, 100%. I totally think that that is like the method going into 2026. Um, and I think every producer should be doing that.
So, if you had to start over completely right now, what would you do?
I would start a new channel. I would do a new channel for sure, but I would warm it up just like we talked about. And then I would 100% go the micro niche route. Now, me personally, I like boom bap, so I would probably make boom bap beats. I just prefer that sound. It's just what I listen to. And so, but anyway, you can do it on any genre. It doesn't have to be that. But that's what I would do. So I would pick a genre that I love, and then I would micro niche that. And actually, throughout my event that I'm hosting, that's where like I'm gonna be breaking down how to actually go about that in
Yeah.
depth.
Well,
So
so two things. And one, explain how they can learn about that program, and
mhm.
then two, give me an example of a boom bap micro niche channel.
Sure, sure. So I'll just start with the upcoming event. Basically, That's March 8th, at 1 p.m. Eastern. You can register, link in the description, but it's completely free as well. And basically, I'm going to be breaking down everything for 2, 3 hours a day, answering questions live on there as well. And just really, I just want everybody to be, to at least understand why the micro niche strategy is so powerful, and that way they can have the option to go about that if they want, right? And because I really think it's so powerful. So um and I know that my last event I hosted, many producers became full time. I even have case study videos I dropped since then. uh
Yeah, I know some of them. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, they went full time and with the micro niche strategy. So I do this just as like awareness really for the producer community. And so, yeah, you can register, link in the description. But basically, if I was to micro niche a boom bap uh, channel, I would probably go with, so there's different boom bap sounds though, right? So it gets, you'd have to go specific. Let's say for example let's say we want to do like the smooth boom bap type of sound. So I would probably do like things like R&B X boom bap. I know that sounds crazy. It's actually a really good niche. And so to micro niche it though, you basically want to go specific like that. So let's say R&B X boom bap. That's like combining two genres in a way. But and then you go more specific. So I would do like 90s. So you could add like, okay, 90s specifically, or 80s or 2000s, like 50 Cent, that type of sound. You can get very specific. And I see what right now working very well is Eminem. Surprisingly, Eminem's doing very well as a micro niche. And shout out Rodri, he's like my partner with Type Beats. We're crushing it with like the boom bap sound micro niche. And also R&B is great for micro niching for anyone that's doing R&B. We'll definitely be talking about that throughout the event because it's super easy to micro niche that. And so, for example, let's say like you're doing pop as well. You can do like acoustic guitar, Taylor Swift type beat with no drums, like very, very specific. But there's artists that are serious about making music that want that exact sound, and no one's supplying their demand. And so it's easy to create these super fans and then really focus on those existing customers.
Okay, so with channels that you start that don't
Mhm,
take off, do you just
mhm.
abandon them or do you try new strategies? And have you found that you can, I guess, if you're like, let's say you focus on one particular keyword for 2, 3 months and it just doesn't work, do you abandon that channel or do you switch up?
So traditionally, after like 3 months, I will abandon the channel only if I actually tried. So like every single month I have to be uh switching it or like trying new things in those 3 months. So basically 3 areas where I make changes that could actually either make or break the situation. And some niches, to be honest, they just won't work. And you have to it or maybe it just didn't work for you. I've had niches where my friends in the industry completely crush it. I try it even with all my expertise and it just doesn't work. Oh well, I move to the next one and I find a niche that does work for me. And so I think producers get stuck and stubborn like we talked about, and they keep trying something that's just not working, and they think that it's the algorithm's fault and all that. It's like, yeah, to a degree, but it's not really. You can totally control areas of the algorithm. And so yeah, I try different things, whether that's changing thumbnails. A quick little gem: if you guys notice that your average view duration is consistently really good, but your click through rate sucks, change the thumbnail a lot. Believe it or not, that's probably the only thing missing from you blowing up, and I've seen that time and time again.
So would you change? So let's say you're targeting a micro niche on a channel and it's,
Hmm.
you're doing everything right. You're a month in, it's just not working. What variables do you change? Do you switch up the keyword a little bit? Do you switch up the thumb? I know you do switch up the thumbnails, but thumbnails aside, is it smart to change keywords throughout that 3-month period?
Yeah. Um I rarely actually touch the keywords because going into it, at least for me, I did my research on the keywords, so I know it's good. The title there I know like for me, I know the title is going to be solid.
How do you know
It's
that?
usually
Sorry,
just
that's
because
like I'm right when you said that, I'm like, this is important. How do you know
it is
that a
important.
title is good?
So, I know it because of literally just supply and demand. So if I see a keyword, so I'll like research. Let's say I have an artist in mind. Let's go with Justin Bieber as an example. Kind of a crazy example, but um, if I look up Justin Bieber type beat and then I start adding, okay, Justin Bieber type beat, no drums, or Justin Bieber X, um, or old Justin Bieber type beat, like you can microniche in that way. If I was to look there and there's clearly like some people actually with small subscriber counts and are actually ranking and getting decent views. It could even be 5,000 views or 10,000. But if that's targeting their ideal customers, that's a lot. For a micro niche, I'd say that's a lot. Um, and so, but if I see that they have a small subscriber count and they're able to get that with that title format, that's all I need to know. The supply and demand like ratio is there.
Why would you say most beat makers never end up succeeding and making money in this space?
I think it's because they have a lack of focus. And so that might like piss a lot of producers off, but I think that producers are generally, and this isn't a lack of focus for their music. That's not what I'm talking about. But they are focused on trying to chase placements, trying to sell their kits, trying to reach out to artists all day and try and sell beats manually. And then they're trying to grow their type beat channel. And then, they're trying everything under the sun. And, there's that saying like, if you try chasing two rabbits, you catch none, you know? And I have found, at least for me, and maybe it's different for you or anyone else, but when I focused all in on one thing, which was like the type beat and beat selling game, I got good at it because it's all I focused on. And from there, you can then, once you are established, you can then go the industry route, right? And you're probably going to get a lot of placements from the type beat game. And you're going to get a lot of connections. You also build leverage. This is really important. Like, I built so much leverage, and I actually kind of want to talk about that because I think my model for beat selling really evolved. Like 2025, by far, in terms of like income, and this isn't me trying to brag, that was my best year for sure, due to the beat selling game. And it's because I use things as leverage. So this is really important for producers to understand, and nobody talks about it. But it's arguably what will make or break your career. And so I understood this from a young age. I knew that, okay, if I was to grow a typey channel, I wanted to chase placements. I wanted placements like every producer does. And I was like, okay, I'm going to grow this typey channel. And like, let's say it works out, which it did. I can use that as leverage to provide value to these producers I want to work with in hopes of getting placements. Because a lot of people will be like, oh, I'm just going to send DMs to Kavi and I'm going to say, hey, can I send you loops? Guess what? He's not responding. Now, if you go to Kavi and say, hey, I have a typey channel with 30,000 subscribers, feel free to send me loops and we can do some collab sales. You're providing value to him, which then gets you that connection. And so that's how I worked my way up from the typey game. Now, what ended up so that's like one form of leverage. Now, eventually, I started my personal brand and I showed people that I really do this. I didn't just talk about it, I showed it. That was the first thing I did. And I built leverage in a way where people saw I actually do it, which then brought all these successful type B producers to want to come to me, whether that's for consulting services or, just anything like that. And what I ended up doing is I would build these producers up and take a percentage of the revenue. And so I was able to like scale with that model as well on top of my own beat selling business. And that's how I built sellbeats.com, which is our like consulting firm for music producers. And so um,
Which is a crazy
that's really
domain
how it
name that
evolved.
you were able to grab that. You'd think
Yeah.
someone else would have had that. That was amazing.
They did have it. I bought it, but
Oh, okay.
yeah. So, but that's like building the leverage, though. Um, and so there's many ways to do that in the beat selling space. And yeah, I don't know your thoughts on that though.
I feel like it's also if you're building leverage, and this is something else that I think a lot of industry producers who never dealt with beat leasing are starting to finally understand. You build enough leverage as a business owner,
Yeah.
and you don't necessarily need the placements. That's just more
Mhm.
of an additional revenue stream. I'm not saying people don't transition. They do all the time and they go back and forth.
Yeah.
Some people have one foot in, one foot out. Some people just move entirely
Right.
to another space. But you walk into that new space and you already understand your value and your potential. And so those old industry tricks aren't going to work on you. I was
Right.
talking about the one that producer royalty, and they got me the very first placement before I knew anything about the music business. When I got, and I don't regret anything, but they did get me, which was that trick where they'll say, all right, hurry up and sign the contract by this weekend, or else we're kicking you off the album. And as a producer who wants that, who desperately needs that placement, and like that placement changed
Yeah.
my life. Don't get me wrong, but if I had already
Hmm.
been making six figures online, that placement wouldn't have changed my life. So I would have probably
Right.
given it more thought and been like, nah, let me tell my lawyer right quick. And then the lawyer's going to say, no,
Yeah.
don't listen to them. That's bullshit. But at the time, me and my whole team were brand new. So we were scrambling. And when I say team, I mean management.
Right.
We're scrambling and we're like, we got to get this done. Oh my God. And it was a distraction for them to just get it done so that they were covered. If I signed it, I couldn't renegotiate. I couldn't ask for anything more, and I should have, but whatever. Um,
Yeah.
but if you already have a successful business, you're like, man, I don't care. You're
100%.
offering me less than what I make in a month anyway, off
Yeah.
of selling beats online. So I'm gonna drag my feet, and then they go, okay, fine, we're not gonna kick you off the album, but this is the deal, take it or leave it. And you're like, well, I leave it. And they're like, okay, well, what do you want? And then then you start actually negotiating, because you can't
Right.
negotiate from a position of weakness, and nobody really negotiates from a position of weakness. It's all in the mind. So for
100%.
me, yeah, so like if someone offers you a placement, they're like, okay, we want to give you 3 points and I don't know, $5,000 as an advance. Oh, and by the way, this other producer is going to touch it up, so they're probably going to get half of your equity in the underlying composition. You might say, "Nah, we're not doing that,"
Right.
because you already have your business and you don't necessarily need that. Now, if it's
Yeah.
a huge placement, maybe you just say, okay, cool, whatever. But
Right.
regardless, this isn't going to make or break you. So to me, that's another benefit of the leverage that you would build by having your own type B business.
100%. You totally
But okay,
build
but
that leverage.
other elephant in the room, because I keep saying type beat business, and that's a dirty word for a lot of producers. Do you
Yeah.
think type beats are killing creativity?
No. I think maybe in the past, uh, if producers went about it in that way, I think you've always had control over it though, to be honest. It's because at the end of the day, it's just a way to market your beats. If you're truly making a beat solely based on what that words what those words say, it's like, yeah, I guess. But also ideally you should be choosing a type beat that you actually love making to begin with. Uh and then have your own sound. No one That's like every single big type beat producer always had their own sound. That never was That's why they became successful. So No, I think the whole, "Oh, type beats is, like, bad, it kills your creativity, it's destroying, music," it's like this, and it's such bullshit. I've never believed in that.
I want to go back. Sorry for not picking up on this earlier. Way back when we were talking about new ways of selling beats and
Mhm.
how transactions are going down, but you can potentially just make more money off of fewer transactions. What is your strategy with regards to selling bulk deals and higher ticket items,
Yeah.
but with more value?
So, um, I ultimately started doing this, and, like, charging more. So, this was, uh really last quarter when I stopped being scared of charging more. And because at least see, I'm young, so like $50 to me, I think, well, that's a lot of money because it is a lot of money to most people. Like if I spend $50, I hope I get my money's worth. And so basically this stems all the way back. This will make sense. I'll tie it in with everything. But I would sell all my beats for very cheap, like when I was 16, 15, thinking that that would get me more sales. It'll ultimately just cause more headaches and headache customers that want refunds and are never satisfied. And uh, that, when you charge less, you attract lower quality customers. That's in general. So I, it actually came from when I started. So in at the January of 2025, I would do one-on-one calls for $50 to help people sell beats. And then eventually I realized, wow, this person's now making $5,000 a month. Maybe I could have charged more. And so I started slowly increasing the price, eventually doing high ticket packages like $3,000, $4,000 for like consulting deals like that. And so people were buying it. And so I realized this whole me being scared to charge money, if you're scared of charging money, it means you're not confident in your product. It means maybe you think your beats aren't good enough to charge that much. And so I started telling all my producer students to charge more. And guess what? Their income doubled because they started charging more. And so when I started developing these deals, I was like, okay, I create these bundles for like consulting packages. Let me tie this in with like beat selling. And sure enough, when I had my producers uh, doing that and creating this crazy offer that is irresistible, where everybody wins, you could charge $1,000 for 10 beat leases or something, and people would buy it. And so the way you go about it though is implementing other things. So this could be a vocal preset, or something, maybe like a guy with a tutorial on how to like actually produce the songs with the beats in the pack, with the vocal preset, like a full recording suite in a way. And so like getting creative like that um allows you to charge more because the perceived value is higher. And so uh basically, how I'd actually get people to buy it, it's one thing to have the offer, but to actually get people to buy it and get the traffic, there's one first way is outreach. Now, this isn't the traditional going on Instagram and looking up unsigned artist or something. There's a new strategy, and I'm going to be breaking this down in the event. Uh, but basically, it involves Spotify and a couple other methods. But basically, where you can find artists that actually use your exact type of sound, and you can reach out to them from there. And that is crushing it right now. So there's the manual way. It's like the new way of outreach and manual beat selling, but for higher ticket. And then there's the micro niche channel to literally attract them right to you without doing outreach. And then get them on a call and sell them from there, or just through the text messages, like getting personal with it. Um, and yeah, so traditionally though, everything above $1,000, I'm getting on a call.
Do you get a lot
Yeah.
of people reaching out and saying, "Hey, let's just jump on a call," and they won't tell you why?
uh no, well, that's the thing is you have to qualify these leads. So that's one thing is you have to actually make sure before you get on a call with them that they're serious and that they also have money to invest. If they have $50 to invest, you're not going to sell $1,000 package, you know. Because also that's just wrong if you try and like aggressively sell them too if they have no money.
Yeah.
That's stupid. Um, but yeah, so you want to qualify them and you do that with like these forms. They're free. Like type forms a really good one. I use that. Um,
And Typeforms is
but yeah,
free?
yeah, type forms free. Well, up to a certain amount, just
Okay.
like Mailchimp, like and stuff. But
Oh, okay,
I
yeah,
see
and even
Othello
Google
doing this
Forms can
too.
do it, yeah.
Yeah, Google Forms too. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. But I see Othello doing this. I see a lot new, like bigger, more established producers start doing this as well for like either custom production or stuff like this. I think we're starting to circle back to charging more as producers, even in the online space, on top of the licensing though. Uh, so yeah,
Which is interesting because you have so many producers panicking right now. Maybe it's not even producers. Who knows who the hell these people are, right? But you're seeing a lot of people say, "Well, beat selling is about to die because of AI," and I'm seeing what you just said. I'm seeing exclusive sales, higher ticket sales going
yeah,
up. And
yep,
I don't think that has anything to do with AI. I think it has to do with just the way the music business is, with content ID being a problem, ownership really
yep,
taking the forefront. It's you know, the Russ and La Russell conversations about ownership and about exclusivity and about direct to consumer and low royalty rates. And I think a lot of people are confused by what all of that means, but
hmm,
they're concluding that they do want exclusivity or custom this or added
yeah,
value
yeah.
that.
Yeah, and I think it's because people are craving personal connection more than ever.
Mm.
People want to buy from people rather than big corporations or like I see that with myself. I shop at the farmers market rather than like locally rather than just like shopping at Walmart or something. Um and I support like small businesses in my area, just in my neighborhood because I these are like people. People just like buying from people. Um and so I think that we're seeing that, and I don't know, like, if you I bet you have a few artists that, like, come back to you to buy pretty frequently, like, a couple times a year or something, not just once, you know, and, um, it's because they like you. They're bought into your brand and they like who you are as a person, like, that matters, you know?
Well, it matters to give them a good experience and to be fun. Like I
Yeah,
posted recently, and this kind of goes against the spirit of what you were saying about charging more. But I mean, not really. But it's just that when people reach out to me, and I can tell they seriously want to work with me, and they ask, for something specific, and they say, I don't have that kind of money now, and I want this beat exclusively, but I don't have this kind of money now. What I just started doing, and I didn't realize what I was doing really. I thought I was just being selfish because I don't want to get scammed. So I would just say, okay, put down a deposit and then I'll hold it for X amount of weeks or whatever it is.
uh-huh,
And that started working really well. And
yeah,
producers are constant, and I don't like that producers do this. I think this is really awful, where they'll make fun of artists for being broke, or they'll say stuff like, "Oh yeah, sure, you
oh,
got me next Friday," and it's like a lot of those rappers are being honest,
yeah,
where they'll say, "Yeah, I
that's
only
true.
have 50 today, but I can give you the remainder." Like, I'll take the 50 today rather than just saying no.
Yeah,
If you say that a week from now you have 300, you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
and I had to change my mentality and get those stupid memes out of my head and say, no, people tend to be telling the truth. You'll there are some people that will bullshit, but hey, if you get the deposit, you get the deposit. That way
right.
they still got what they paid for, and you have the peace of mind that at very least your time wasn't entirely wasted.
Yeah, and you know what? Those artists usually become your biggest customers. Like seriously, they
Yeah, because you were
absolutely
flexible.
do. Yeah, they totally do. And they like that you um didn't just brush them off or have an ego, or because every other producer's doing that. You know, for some reason producers will have like the biggest egos. I don't know why,
It's a cycle of
because
abuse, I think.
yeah, I really, I've just never understood it. But I 100% agree, because look, not everyone can afford a $300 exclusive or a unlimited license. Um, but they're serious, and what if that person genuinely loved your beat so much, would have ended up paying you like $5,000 over their lifetime, and then you said, "Nah, I'm good. I'll sell it to someone else."
Yeah.
And it's like you lose out on that, and then now that person uh also like feels bad about themselves, even though they didn't do anything wrong. uh and it's just not a good way to do business.
No, no. I mean, I think there are people that will absolutely waste your time, like
Oh yeah.
people that contact me and they're like, "Hey, I really love this beat. Just give it to me exclusively, and I'll give you 50% on the back." And you're like, "You're wasting my time." But the people that are like, "Look, I really want this. I want the exclusive. I just can't afford it." All right, well, let's talk about it. Can I just give you a lease for now for cheaper than
Right.
what I normally do, or can we do a payment plan? Whatever. There are a lot of different
Yeah.
ways to make that work. Let's see. Uh, did we all? I think we covered the AI stuff. I had questions about that, and you don't think
Yeah.
online beat sales are going to get replaced by AI? Um, let's just end with this. What is the most important metric to watch for growing a type beat channel?
So I think that I used to think that it was thumbnails. I don't anymore, because I actually think that watch time and like the beat itself is more important than ever. And because number one, if your beats suck, no, there's no saving it. And um I also, if somehow, like, I see people buying views for beats that genuinely just suck, and it's like you're just telling more people about something that sucks. It's like that's not going to lead to like, just because you're getting more views doesn't mean you're going to get more sales. That's you know so but basically, the beat matters more than ever, and also just average view duration. So implementing like watch time hacks and stuff like that, which I'll be breaking down in the event. But basically, that is important. Even though I thumbnails are the determining factor, though, of whether you're going to blow up. But it's not the most important, because watch time after you upload the beat, you can't change that anymore. But the thumbnail you can change over and over again until you get it right. And so that's why my view on it has changed.
And do you often change thumbnails and see success even after days?
Oh yeah. If I
Wow.
didn't do that, I would not have made it to this point at all. I wouldn't have even made it like 10% of where I am, because like even with all my students, that's like the number one strategy we do. Sometimes like we have like three high level like beat sellers that are like doing 10K a month and above that. We have like virtual assistants that literally change their thumbnail on each beat like 3 or 4 times a day, track what the click through rate was, whether it was a winner or a loser, and then we double down on that and then run it through AI to have an analysis. Like we get so nerdy on it. It's so important.
Okay. Well, are you going to be talking about that during the seminar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll be tuning in because that sounds insane.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for all the gems. I think that's a great one
Absolutely, man.
to leave off on. Damn, I feel like my
Yeah.
brain is completely full. And oh, will
Good.
the? I know it's going to be live streamed. I know it's going to be interactive. Will it be archived as well?
Yeah, there will be replays and stuff, but the thing is we're gonna have specific like bonuses, free resources that you only can get if you're there live.
Okay.
Because they'll be
Smart
password
shave.
protected. So yeah,
Got it. Got it. And are there limited spots or it's just general admission?
anyone can join. It's free. It's gonna be streamed on YouTube as well on my main channel.
Oh, on YouTube. Okay. Okay. Great. Then, well,
Yeah.
I'm sure the proper links will be in the description. All right, man. Well, thanks
Yeah.
again. Appreciate you joining me to educate the producer community.
Absolutely.